What up, y'all? Happy full moon in Virgo. I hope everybody's doing good. We're all making it through. Oh my God, it's been so intense. Let me get my notes. Everyone's trying to call me today. I've got work later and I'm trying to get this done beforehand. I was up late last night filming. Lots of good messages recently, so check out those videos. Sorry, they've been kind of long ones recently. I know that's a lot, but it's just, there's a lot coming through. But yeah, thank you for joining me. We're gonna be going over some of the highlights in astrology, and I'll be giving you my channeled messages about it, and then we're going to do some tarot and oracle cards, our usual spreads. So yeah, let's just jump in and get started. And as always, if my alarm goes off, I may have to like stop the video and go to work and come back, but we'll get through it. Yeah, if you like this content, if you like this video, press the like button, sign into YouTube so that you can do it, and comment, leave an emoji if you don't have anything that you don't know what to say. But every little bit helps this video get out there to other people who might benefit from it. So you are contributing to sharing the message just by pressing some buttons. So thank you for that. All right, so excited. Let's get started. So today at 7 a.m. Eastern time was a full moon in Virgo. So we're in the influence of this now and for the next couple of days, and probably you've noticed already like some energy intensifying leading up to this full moon. And it's actually more than just the full moon going on. Saturn and Pluto are both major planets that affect us, that are moving out of the sign that they've been in for quite a while, and they're moving forward into the next sign. And so they're both at like 29 degrees of the end of the sign that they're in right now, which is like an energetic boiling point of all that journey was supposed to be teaching us. So if you've noticed, like over the course of this Pisces season, where the sun has been in Pisces, the new moon in Pisces influences the whole month, it's like really been going into the depths and really finishing out. Like I feel like it's not only the end of the energetic year of 2022, but like the first half of our life. Like we are really starting a whole huge new cycle, a new journey forward. It's like, it's not a new chapter, it's a whole new book. It's like it's like life is a series, right? And it's almost like the series finale happened, but then they decided to just come right back and pick the show back up. But like this time you can write it in such a way that you and the characters in your life are not confined by like what happened in the past. Like writers would call that like sticking to canon, when they can't go off book or off of what are like considered like core truths about the character and their story. It's like all that doesn't apply in this real life experience of life the next season, because we're almost jumping timelines. We've come to the conclusion of years of sort of this like these stages of awakening. And depending on how long you've been on this journey, you know, if you've only started in recent years, in order to, like the whole, like the zeitgeist, like a large portion of people are all sort of like on this frequency. So people that are close to that frequency are suddenly, like even if they aren't quite there yet, if they've been like, you know, sort of like only joining in recently, they're accelerating, and it's like this growth and transformation happens faster, so it's more intense. So if you haven't been doing the growth all along and you suddenly realize like, oh my God, I'm suddenly like experiencing all this intensity, then it's probably because you're awakening in such a state and at such a rate that you're kind of catching up with people who, like the larger groups, who are all kind of coming together and we're starting to sort of catch up with each other, and you're being pulled in, like just like herd immunity, right? That's one of the things that maybe COVID was trying to teach us, is about herd immunity, that applies to consciousness as well. It's like when there's enough of us who are going in that direction of like opening our heart and like prioritizing unity over truth, like our own ego truth, but like really reaching for like the divine truth, and like dying to our own personal desire to receive for the self, for our own survival, you know, to protect ours and us. And we die to that flesh, that body consciousness. Then we resurrect into an ascended consciousness of being able to receive for the sake of sharing. It's perfecting the vessel. I'm seeing one of those beautiful, huge, like yellow and black butterflies outside the window now. But that's why Jesus is the fish. Jesus and Pisces like represents the Christ, the spiritual journeyer who's come all the way through the cycle and has come to the final culmination of mastery, of spirit, of the perfection of the vessel, at the end of the cycle, the completion. So we're here at a state of completion. And so our full moon, like as we're rounding out this Pisces season, it really is like this full moon is like last call, final purge. It's like I had this vision this morning that like we're waiting in like the terminal, and we're like final call, like for boarding, like we're getting on the plane, like we're about to, like we're preparing for takeoff, last chance to board the plane, like we're going. So throw away all the shit that you can't bring on board or that you don't want to carry with you to the next destination, right? So we're about to take off. And so this full moon in Virgo is like that final chance to go over all the details. As we've been doing this deep emotional inventory, now it's like, okay, we're offloaded the heaviness. We've been crying it out. We've been processing it. We've been digesting it. Part of Virgo is discriminating, looking to see what should be here, what is not should be here, what is proficient and what is inefficient. What belongs, what doesn't. Virgo is all about structures, systems, organizations. Have you noticed any being interrupted over the past few days? It's the boiling point to show cracks in the infrastructure, because the whole thing about last year, 2022, and that's what we're finishing up here, is clearing the ground of anything that doesn't belong in the new life that we're building, so that the energetic year of 2023 can be all about implementing those new structures, that building that infrastructure on a solid, clean foundation, right? Applying the systems that we've been working out, starting to put everything into motion, embodiment, so that suddenly our efforts are actually building something. It's not just unblocking, it's not just clearing anymore, right? It's like we still have to clear and do the maintenance, but it's more about building and implementing and watching growth happen. And so big growth is going to happen this year. It just doesn't feel like it because we're still in this tension before we're launched forward. It's like a boomerang, right? Or sorry, not a boomerang, a slingshot. Excuse me. Allergy season. Getting over the lingering effects of a cold. So Virgo is a feminine mutable sign ruled by Mercury. And so when we're like, whatever planet is or the sign that's influencing the lunation, it's like we're being offered ways to grow and attain like the strengths and positive attributes of that sign, but only if we can transmute and get past and transcend the negative pitfalls of the sign. So Virgo is really great at looking at things in detail and being super excellent at execution. They're super organized, they're super smart, they're very quick. They're the fast earth sign. All the other earth signs are like slow and plodding. I mean, Taurus is like the pace of glacial erosion. I mean, like Capricorn is very methodical, plodding, step by step. But Virgo is pretty fast because it's weird. They're ruled by Mercury, which I don't think is like an earth element related planet, but it's like they're grounded, but they're very quick and they're very like agile in their mind and in their creativity and in their ideas. And so they can appreciate like creativity and beauty and things like that, but they're also really methodical about it, and sometimes they can be really critical. Like Virgos are always like camera department people. They're always cam ops and they're always like the ACs because they are very organized. They're very clear on their vision and they're very like in that structure, in that frame. So those are great things about Virgo. Virgo is very efficient. Virgo can take action and see the plan and execute the plan. But the downside of Virgo is that they can be overly critical, overly perfectionistic. They can be judgmental even. They can be discriminating and like kind of like domineering and ask a lot, and they kind of like get in this haughty like high horse, like they're better than everybody else, but in a way, let's face it, they're pretty excellent. So they have like, you know, they're not coming from nowhere, but they can get a bit obnoxious, so don't encourage them. But so it's like we're gonna have to get over these tendencies in ourselves. Virgo also asks us to look to see, to make sure that our physical realms are being well taken care of. Are we taking care of house and home? Are we taking care of our health and our sense of well-being and our mental health and our emotional health and our physical health, our diet, right? It's tending to all of those kingdom needs in the physical as well as like the thought realms. And Virgo is flexible because it's got that mercurial quality. So this is a great time to put into place those changes and tweaks and edits that need to be made in order to set yourself up for the healthiest infrastructure to build upon as we move forward when Aries season starts a couple of weeks from now. Let's see. Just recently, Venus was conjunct Jupiter in Aries. So Venus is the ruler of love, relationships, our money, our career, our sense of security, our purpose, like what invokes beauty to us, our aesthetic, what we surround ourselves with, the way that we keep up with our own like physical beauty. So that was joined with Jupiter. Jupiter is optimistic, expansive, it's fortunate and lucky and blessed and abundant. And so there could be like this shift in your heart about the way that you look at love and your capacity to have love and receive love and give love. So you might have new love coming into your life or a new surge of love within the relationships that you already have. You may have new abundance coming in and new opportunities and new opportunities within the things that bring you joy and passion and light you up and really allow you to put your true gifts and purposes into form and share that with the world. So it's very fortunate. You could be getting, you know, like extra money, or just like everything is just like thriving and like beautiful and like radiant and like a glow up kind of right now in your life and an up level. And so that's kind of what's happening. It's like we're coming through the end of this sort of life puberty and we're about to be thrust, like introduced into society. It's like our coming out, you know, into this new phase, and it's going to be really, really good, very positive, or it can be if you're allowing the transformation to happen. If you're holding on to all the old, like, you know, ways, the old like resentments and attachments and like limited perceptions, limiting beliefs, your old self-defeating tendencies, the egos, you know, things that satisfy that ego, then you won't have the forward momentum and the ease and the joy. You'll still be learning from kind of hardship. And I think that the universe is sort of trying to set us up to try to teach us how we can learn and evolve and transform within the conditions of love and joy instead of the pressure and the heat and the fire. It's like if you've come a certain distance, then like you can make it easier for yourself. You don't have to make it as hard anymore. So we're having that opportunity. Let's see, Mercury in Pisces. So Mercury in Pisces, I mean, Mercury is the way that we communicate. It's the way that we think. It's our thoughts. It's changing and mutable. And so then, you know, it's imaginative. It talks, it communicates, it processes information very quickly. But then like it's also kind of can go back and forth, and like Geminis are ruled by Mercury as well as Virgos, and so those signs can have this kind of back and forth quality where they're like, well, I'm this way, but I'm also this way, and I like this, but I also like this. And so with being in Pisces right now, that can like intensify your imagination and your visions, and it can really like accentuate the way that you're communicating and creating and putting that out into the world. But it can also cause you to feel confused maybe and overwhelmed by like all of this like that's going on in your mind at the same time. It's all like so like blurry, and like where, you know, where are the lines, where are the boundaries, where are the, what's real, what's a dream, what are dreams coming real? Like I'm a co-creator, I see like things in my imagination crystallizing, like what is happening, what's going on? So it's like you're not insane. You're fish swimming in the depths of Mercury right now. So everyone is feeling a degree of this. Saturn moved into Pisces on the 7th of March, and it's going to be there through May 24th. That is really bringing structure, and new commitment and understanding within your spiritual pursuits. It's like a reality check. It's like that awakening has been happening, and then suddenly it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see it clearly now, and I understand what it all means to me and how this applies in my life. But a lot of people might be having these revelations and awakenings in the way that they're living and doing things, or the way that they're approaching life, or the way that they are perceiving or interpreting it. So, you know, this is going to be happening on an individual level, in the group level, in the zeitgeist, in the community, you know, at large, you know, globally. So that is going to be just sort of like that sort of stage of development over weeks, you know, so it's not going to be a sudden jolt, although it will, you know, it's not, that's a kind of relatively short time span when you consider that. And then Pluto enters Aquarius, and so this is transformative death rebirth energy. This is going to deep depths as well. This is asking the big questions. This goes into cosmology and you know, the mysteries and all that stuff, but mostly it's really going to be transformative in this revolutionary original way. So Aquarius is future thinking, eccentric. They kind of go against the norm. They're like the aliens, the cerebral, like up in the air, you know, almost like they're so individualistic that some people like, they feel almost isolated because they're like, am I even from this planet? I don't even, like, no one seems to like be caught up with me yet. So it's revolutionary thinking and transformative levels of forward movement, progress, and that's in the way that we see and think about things and our perceptions. Venus moves through Taurus, which is a fixed sign. It's one of its home signs, Taurus and Libra, the March 16th through April 10th. This is going to bring an energy around relationships and love that is very sensual and slow and deliberate. And it's like a very sturdy and steady pace, but that's not boring. That's like enticing to the senses and beauty. Because Venus in Taurus, loves stability and security, and like is also a very like, you know, takes its time moving forward, but it's consistent, and it's directional and intentional. It's also values beauty and all of those themes of Venus, like the aesthetics and love and romance and good smells and good tastes, and really being involved in like being in love with physical material world that we're in, like enjoying it, you know, while we're here, and letting those senses and taking our time to stop and smell the roses and enjoy like slow unfoldment, you know, on things that are unfolding slowly rather than rushing quickly to get to like a goal or a destination. And not over analyzing, just being more in the feeling of it. And then Mars leaves Gemini and enters Cancer on March 25th. So this is going to take you out of like, so Mars is your ability to take action and have drive and motivation to do things. It's your sense of industry. It's also kind of like the way that you approach sex and sexuality, and so it's like your sex drive and your ability to be motivated in the world. So what motivates you, what's been motivating you with Mars and Gemini has been like, well, the way that you think about things and how you want to communicate about it. And like you've been kind of thinking your feelings for a while, and you've been up in your head about why you're doing what you do. But as Mars enters Cancer, it's really going to be about how you feel about what you do that's going to motivate you to choose to do things or to go in certain directions. It's like you're going to be feeling your feelings, and you're going to notice that your feeling state is really what you value, because that's what gives you a sense of home and fulfillment and security. So you're going to be basing what motivates you to do things and to move forward on things is really kind of more based on, it's going to be transcending logic, because you've already mastered the realm of thinking things through. But we're moving through that now into integrating that logic, that wisdom, that reason, and being able to fuse that with like considering how we feel, how is something or someone making us feel all the time, instead of like what logically makes sense, and then taking our actions based on that, coupled with wisdom, intuitive guidance, and like certainty beyond reason. It's like we're not leaving the things behind, we're transcending them and bringing them with us through to the next thing. The progression of consciousness always takes what it has and it pours forth into the next cup, right? So now it's like we're taking all of our reason and logic, and it is in temperance being integrated and interwoven and mixed together into the next phase of consciousness, where we transcend that into the next level. Okay, you guys, let's get into our reading. So excited. Excuse me. I should have had my favorite throat coat on standby. My favorite lozenge, which is Ricola. And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't hate it if they decided to sponsor me, because I talk about them all the time, and not everybody at work likes them too. All right, you guys, we're gonna do a cardinal cross. Oh, sorry, not a Celtic cross. I always say that wrong. A Celtic cross with my straightforward oracle. This is my own deck that I've been making for a while. It is roughly between probably 80 and 100 cards. And I'm like 4 cards away from being finished with the entire first draft. So very excited. But this has become one of my favorite staple decks. It's a perfect clarifying deck because it is basically like all the answers that I ever wanted to just be straightforward to me from the oracles or the tarot. It's like there's so many layered possibilities of interpretation that I just wanted at least one deck that was just like, it is what it is. Like, this is what I'm saying. And if it would mean something else, then that's going to be a card too. So this is basically every single answer that I ever like channeled through that I needed, volume 1, I guess. So here we go. Okay, the first card is going to represent us in the context of this moment. Who are we? Where are we at right now? We need to know for our highest good that we need to utilize going forth into this next 2-week cycle of the waxing period, or sorry, waning period. So we got no big deal. So the full moon is all about that boiling point, bringing all of that up, the last residue of any of that old crap left over, boiling it up like you would when you're making like a tincture or an essential oil. You're removing the refuse and you're left with what's pure, right? What's the most concentrated. So part of this full moon is release. Let it wash away. Let it move through you. Get out in the rain and in the wind if you can, and call on the angels of air, fire, and water to cleanse you through the sun, through the stars, through the wind, through the water, through earthing your feet in the ground. And just no big deal is like part of that. It's just like peace and release. It feels very heavy because it's bittersweet and we're moving through this huge graduation period. So there's, you know, tears, right? Tears of joy, tears of nostalgia, tears of sentimentality, tears of just being moved by the beauty and the brutality of it all, you know? I mean, we're always in a dramedy, right? It's never that straightforward. So no big deal. Let it all pass because new big things are starting. And the things that are really supposed to stick will stick. They may be in a different form, but it's all going to sort itself out. But the best thing and most powerful thing you can do is just release it all to the care of the Holy Spirit. Let it go. Let Jesus take the wheel. When you're at peace and when you're in a state of surrender, it's not so much about like subservient, like obedience to authority. It's about letting the flow of the river just take you and be at ease and in harmony and enjoy floating along and entrusting yourself to spirit. And that is such a powerful level of certainty. And then you're basking in beauty, and then you feel appreciation. And those are three, oh my gosh, three such high vibrational cosmic, you know, truth, beauty, you know, freedom, goodness, love. Those are such high vibrational states of being that it opens you up to, like, your heart chakra is literally open and radiant and full to give and receive. You're overflowing, right? Your vessel is open to receive as well as share. And, you know, we've been talking about perfecting the vessel, right? So that we have such a pure desire to receive, because desire is the fuel to receive. We can't manifest without desire. Without a desire, we have no will to live, right? So, you know, it's not that we want to stifle or repress our desire. We want to make sure that our desires are true to us and deep in our hearts, and not put there because society told us that's what we should desire. You know what I mean? Or society shamed us for desiring what we desire. We have to get rid of all of those notions and tune in to our own inner voice, our own inner compass. And that's that, whatever that thing is in you that you wanted to share with the world, that lit you up in your childhood and gave you a sense of purpose, that it gave you a sense of sharing a gift to others, like that, you were meant to do that. And chances are you've been very challenged in that in your life, and you have challenges that have shaped you to be a particularly good candidate for this thing, but maybe others have put you down for that. And it's hard to interpret what that means. And it's not saying that you're not supposed to do it, or that you're not good enough for it, or whatever. Those are the challenges that the universe brings all of us to teach us persistence and endurance. It's like the Mandalorian. You know, the Mandalorian becomes a badass not because he sits in comfort all the time, hiding out in the village. They wanted him to stay in the village, but he's like, no, I belong out there getting my ass kicked in my shit car. Fighting battle after battle. And even my losses are adding to my battle scars that are making me a badass and a legend, not a failure. What is crossing you now? when we're open and we surrender to the flow of the universe wants to bring us creative collaboration, like minds, capable of manifesting a common vision, right? Pisces, Jupiter, Venus, you know, all of these influences right now are trying to bring us like-minded individuals, people that can provide us just the right amount of support and resistance and contrast to really build something with depth and dimension and discover something together. And this is in, you know, the groups of people you surround yourself with and people in your inner circle and the teachers and things that are hobbies and interests that are, you know, you're putting your time and your resources and your intention and your energy into. It's like they're all starting to line up really and be very so true to your authenticity because you've been tuning in your radio dial to be really, really keyed in to your authentic station and then be sustaining in that instead of wavering. So that's allowing the signal to go out, and the universe is starting to bring you people that really resonate. So be on the lookout. You may not even know them yet. You may be getting to know them. You may be getting to know people around you, you know, better, and, you know, realize like, oh wow, I've got a lot of really cool people around me. My tribe is, or like my, sorry, but like my, you know, community is starting to grow. My close-knit people, my inner circle. The subconscious influence that is kind of like our subconscious pattern that's influencing the situation right now is we got worth the risk. And I think that in this moment where we're like, oh my God, we're considering this moment of our life, we're on the precipice of this huge new beginning. So we could have a tendency to like overthink right now and make everything such a big deal. And the assignment right now is to relax and have a good time and let everything evolve organically, and you just be in a state of bliss and joy and be open-minded and open-hearted and curious, right? Hold your boundaries that you've been growing. You know, figure out where you're malleable. But you don't have to be like, oh, no, it's like, it's either like all or nothing, I don't know, everything's at stake. It's like, no, just like put pause on that for a minute, no big deal. Pretend it's no big deal. Pretend just for a minute that you don't have to take everything so seriously and everything's just like no big deal, right? Okay, so as these collaborators are presented, you're probably gonna have a tendency to be like, I don't know, it's such a big decision, I don't know, should I team up with these people, should I go out with that person, I don't know, are these good people for me to be around? And it's like, just relax, and the universe is trying to bring you things that are gonna be joyful. So get open about it, open your mind and open your heart, and it's like, just take the risk. And if it's like a big hell no, then just walk away. Like, be trustworthy enough for yourself that you can try something out, and if it's not right, then make adjustments. You know, it's not all or nothing always, right? You can just take your time and, you know, test it out. Remember that slow Taurus and Venus. It's like, dip your toe in. Now maybe you're ready for feet, you know, and so on, right? Okay, so what is the kind of recent events from the past that are still sort of influencing the moment right now? You're being delusional. So something that you've created in your mind, you've made into more of an issue than it really is. Your imagination runs away with you. Your fears are causing you to imagine the worst case scenario. Unhealed past trauma is messing with your head. It's not like it was. Time to practice self-control and put your mind on something else. So again, whatever's been going on that's giving you pause, that's like, oh, is this worth the risk? I don't know, it's such a big risk. It's like you're making too big of a deal about it. Positive collaborations are coming in. And maybe all of that was causing you a lot of irrational fears that seemed perfectly rational. You were just trying to be overly vigilant about things that have happened in the past, probably. You're trying to like avoid it, or like, oh, falling into the same pitfalls. Like you're just working yourself up into knots. And so it's like, just relax. Like do a fresh start, clean slate. Get to know the situation real, like in reality, not in your head, right? Feel it out as you go in, you know, in this 3D world. Try things out. Try the job you're curious about. If it's not good for you, then do something else instead. Like, don't feel like you're like locked into everything. Just give it a shot and then see how you feel. But you don't have to get so up in your head about any kind of fatalistic ideas or this is probably how it's going to be or whatever. It's like you're getting too emotionally invested and creating things from a seed level of resistance and anxiety. So chill out, like relax, no big deal. It's just fun. Everything's a good time. Like that's the best kind of attitude to have right now. Cause like spring is all about like, you know, spring break, whatever, spring break energy. Lightness, fun. Okay, what's crowning us right now? What has the potential to come into fruition at this moment? Bad advice. Okay, cool. So I just saw that somebody had a hidden agenda. That was kind of one of the cards that was pushing out. So probably what you're afraid to risk is the fact that as I've been looking ahead at the 2023 predictions, some of the like quarterly themes that come around are people challenging us because they're projecting what they think on us. Remember that the thing about Pisces and Saturn? Everybody's gonna have a lot of strong feelings about things and a lot of strong thoughts. And so people may be projecting their truth onto you. And it may not be completely transcended, healed truth. And they're probably throwing shade as well. So the crowning, what crowns us, what has potential here, is for people to be throwing bad advice at us related to their own hidden agenda. They're going to want you to comply with what makes them comfortable. And we cannot dim to fit in. We cannot abandon ourselves. The whole lesson that we've been leading up to is to find out who we really are at our truest, authentic core and change everything in our life that is not supporting that and rebuild. And so we're testing infrastructure this year. Every quarter, every time we get some stuff built up, the inspectors are gonna come and test the infrastructure. Are we building up to code, our new code, right? Are we really investing in good materials for the long term? Or are we trying to do things in a quick, cheap, shoddy, easy way? Think about that. Think about that and be very careful about people who are putting their opinions on you because your lesson this year is to tune inward and not listen to other people. What's coming around the corner? Time to party, Vibrational Resonance. Those two cards popped out together. Don't listen to people trying to make you question and second guess yourself. Because every time you stand up to them and maintain your authenticity, that is going to not to make them want to leave you, but that's going to make them love you even more. That's going to make them respect you more. If you're in a relationship, no matter if it's a friend, a business partner, a client, a romantic partner, like a lover, a family member even, when they walk all over you and you change yourself to comply to make them more comfortable, it doesn't make people love you more. It doesn't make you more palatable. They actually lose respect for you and they become turned off and repelled by you. There's a concept in Kabbalah. It's called bread of shame. So it's like when you're overgiving to someone who's not earning it, or you're overgiving from a place of neediness. It's like it causes this weird repulsion and shame and guilt and tension to build up. It's called bread of shame. That's why we have to go through the process of building and earning the light through building the vessel. So the reward for standing strong in yourself and not caving and not letting the enemy trick you, the reward is that it's so steady in your vibration, in your truth, but that doesn't mean that you're not malleable. Like we're always open to expanding our mindset, our rigorous self-evaluation. It's not to say we can't take any advice, but when people are throwing their own shit on you and it's projection, like that's totally different. And so again, we're strengthening and fine-tuning our vibration. Our eternalness in that, our consistency, our perpetualness is holding ourselves on our radio station. So we're sending out that clear signal. Our hearts are feeling strong, they're feeling passionate, they're feeling joyous and alive. And so we're like, it's time to party. And so rewards are gonna come in. What we've been trying so hard to manifest, we're gonna start seeing our efforts really start to pay off and like really start to grow. It's very exciting. All right, so what is our perception that is affecting us in this moment? You're going in circles. So negative patterns and cycles, stuck in a loop, repeating the same mistake, time for a new story. So over the next couple of weeks, you will be shown where you're still going around in circles, where your ego and your unhealed like shadow parts of yourself that you haven't accepted, that you haven't integrated, your lingering fears, your lingering patterns, they're all being made aware to you so that you can stop the cycle of going in circles. You just have to be willing to see things differently, to approach things differently, to try and fail forward. Don't be so afraid of making a mistake. That's what keeps us in indecision. You know, sometimes Spirit is trying to teach us not that like we're gonna make a right or wrong choice, but just to be decisive enough and have enough backbone to make the choice and own the choice and then deal with the results of the choice and then take it from there. And if it's not a positive result and you can't make it work, then leave that decision and move forward and don't linger there, right? It's just like keep adjusting and moving forward. You know, you don't have to be in like this ruin and like this state of like being stuck in a moment and like trying to make it perfect and like then regretting everything I ever was and I can't go forward, I can't take another risk. Like that is Lot's wife being a pillar of salt, frozen in time, obsessed with what was behind her. Just keep moving forward, make mistakes, take the risk. Okay, the next card is going to represent other people's influence and the outer world's influence on you right now. Other people's influence on you. This is an issue of confidence. So probably the reason why people are throwing shade at you is because every time you offload your negativity and that divine radiance starts coming through and you start up-leveling, it's like your vibration is tangible to other people. And the more that the people around you that usually would manipulate you with bad advice with their own hidden agendas because they have low confidence or they're insecure, they're gonna try to throw shade at you. Every time you get bigger, you're gonna trigger other people's insecurities and you're gonna see them even more vividly. And so that's why people throw shade and hate. All the rappers have been singing about it forever. This is an issue of confidence. So because it's in the way that other people are making you feel or having their influence over you, it's like because they have low confidence, they're trying to attack your confidence. And probably maybe some people in your life have always tried to keep chipping away at your confidence or preventing you from ever building any. And this is your time to own your confidence and like don't, just turn your eyes, like put a blindfold on to other people, tie yourself to the mast, stuff your ears with wax, put a blindfold on, and don't listen to the sirens that would pull you down into the deluge and into the misery, into the abyss. Keep moving forward, going strong. You know, temptation is a miserable hag as well as she is a temptress of enticing delights. Okay, so our hopes and fears. Let it go. Not worth fixing or holding on to. Moving on to more fulfilling situation. This is going to cause more trouble than it's worth. This could wear you down. This could wear down your confidence and self-worth over a period of time. Ha! Bam! So our hopes and fears right now, what we're so worried about is what is worth taking the risk. Like, it may not be exactly the same thing that's connected, but there may be outer, like there's lots of people and influences in our life that could be affecting our confidence. And our confidence could be affecting the opportunities that are coming in and how we react to them. So the more we let our confidence be worn down, the more we're like trying to like hold on to things like with a white knuckled grip, and we can't surrender. We can't be unattached, right? So in order to hold on to our confidence, we have to stay in a state of non-attachment, willing for the universe to bring things in, as easily as we are willing for the universe to take things out. It's only then, when we are completely released and in that state of surrender, that anything that will stay, that is resonant, will stay. Otherwise, even something that resonates, when we start getting like anxious about it, it's not resonant anymore because we're not resonant, right? It might still be resonant, but we're causing the disruption in the signal, the turbulence. So let it go. Don't be overly trying to fix things. Don't be overly controlling about things. If something is causing you terrible distress, pay attention to how things are making you feel. Is it worth being in your life or that valuable to you if it's making you feel this way? Is it showing you this thing and making you feel a way to transform you that can be transformative and evolve you? Or is it tearing you down? You know, there are well-meaning people probably in your family that you probably need a healthy distance from because they're attacking your confidence, because they have a hidden agenda and they want to manipulate you and they want you to do what they think is best for you and what they're comfortable with and what is still at their level, so, you know, you stay part of the pack. And like, you have to go out on your own and do what you're being led to do according to your own inner like guidance and your experience with life. You're the only one who lives your life. You're the only one who answers for yourself. And so you can't let other people tell you who to be and what to do. You have to know that for yourself, and it has to be something between you and God. So let it go, not worth fixing. If something is being more damaging than it's worth, then let it go. And I think because this is represented in your hopes and fears, it's like the thing that you're really hoping for right now, you're afraid that it's gonna break down your confidence, it's gonna damage you. And it might be a relationship that you want, it might be an opportunity that you want, but there's something about it that you feel a hesitancy about. And it's like, if you avoid this thing that's being presented to you, then are you gonna regret not trying it? Or are you gonna always wonder like what would have happened? Like, what's worse, being afraid of failure and like heartache? Like, we're always gonna have pain and heartache and be brokenhearted with love. Only one time will it work out forever, and then that person's still gonna die at some point, or you will. So they're always gonna be like, they're gonna disappoint you through life. You're gonna have disagreements. And so it's like, don't be overly perfectionistic to hold on to this fantasy, and just jump in and get in the game. Like, see what happens and see how it goes. But you gotta be able to risk your heart in order to really find true happiness, true abundance, true fulfillment, to really align with your purpose, to align with things that fill you up with passion in your life. Okay. Our outcome, boredom is causing stagnation, so you need to move your energy. That's normal in the winter, we're cooped up, but now like we need to move our energy and get ready for spring to really take advantage of like what's taking off right now. This is a lesson you're meant to repeat. There's obviously something that's not fully learned here, and so don't beat yourself up if your curriculum keeps circling around similar themes. That's just how it is in life, right? But there's something that you're meant to continue, even though it's unclear about whether or not it's like, should you be taking this risk? Like, I don't know. Like, it's like just maybe the lesson is to not over obsess and be able to just relax and see how it goes and see how it unfolds with courage. Courage that allows you to take a risk, to take a hit if it comes to that. But boredom and resistance to move forward because of indecision is causing stagnation. So this is complacency, latent, blasé, filling void. You know, so get into the lesson, take the risk, take the leap. Show your support. So sharing, so being the vessel that shares, right? So let being a vessel of sharing motivate you, right? The overflowing, not just like connecting with the light to receive for yourself, but also so that you can radiate out and have like a positive effect on others. So maybe direct your attention to how you can give to your fellow man, how you can share with someone else, or show your support or your affection, or show your heart. Sharing, emotional support, inspire, motivate, acts of kindness, what you can do to help, reach out, right? So it might be like, hey, this is, you're bored with the stagnation. You're meant to like learn something from this. So it's time to reach out. It's time to take an action. All right, let's get some clarifying cards from the tarot. All right. Ooh, the Fool. Love this. Starting out on a new beginning, like a grand new beginning. The new mindset, unencumbered with old fears, old programming, old insecurities, old traumas, just happy as a lark. Willing to walk along that edge, take that risk, you know, but trusting and open and feeling like supported by the Creator. We have 9 of Wands, which is like the end of breaking these patterns, this final like pattern breaking. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so tiring. It's like, it feels like we can't go on any further, but there's just a little bit more, just one more step. And then we're there, we're in our new fresh start, but we're just feeling a little haggard and a little tired right now. But that's okay, because the Pisces is the oldest person in the astrological wheel. So we're just feeling like that old ancient sage right now. But soon we'll feel like a little baby again, just ready to go out there and take on the world and play and be light and lighthearted, and everything's not that big of a deal, you know. So just be playful. The end of the most of the difficulty is almost behind us. We got 2 of Wands. I love this. It's like we're prepared, you know, this Virgo energy is helping us. We've got everything ready. We're there. We're at the event on time early. We've got our wands. Now we're just waiting for everybody else to show up, right? This is the moment where your vision is, you've got your vision, you've got your materials, you're just waiting for the universe to catch up with your seedlings of potential and like the energy that you put forth in motion and you're manifesting. And then we have King of Pentacles. We've had a lot of kings coming in. So this is about the mastery of our world, our kingdom. The kings have come through the full journey of self-mastery within their element. So we've really learned how to govern our lives and our kingdom and find some sense of ability to take care of our health, of our mental state, of our spirituality, to take care of the people around us and our financial requirements and responsibilities, and take care of our house and home and health and well-being. It's like we've learned how to juggle all of this, but we're also learning how to be good stewards of the earth and how to transform our own shit that we've been carrying around and actually turn it into something that we can build good things with, right? We're taking that bit that we're given in this life, that responsibility of that darkness and that density that we're given to transform on behalf of the greater good for all. It's going to be forever made better, right? When you transform, when you do that healing, and then you start creating from that place, that is light that is forever changing the world for the better. So really big things happening. Very exciting. A new sense of masculine self-worth. This is also a gender neutral they king. So I think that this is also a good example. There's been, like, for the past 2 or 3 weeks, we've been having these feminine kings. And so it's like the vessel that has been perfected to receive for the sake of sharing. So it's like that internal union of divine masculine and feminine from within. And so when that happens on an internal level within a person, the external like result of that is aligning with your purpose, like in your dharma in this life. Having like these up levels and abundance and soulmate level relationships are possible, right? Because you've brought these governing forces within yourself to some level of balance, and you've hit some level of consciousness where you're capable of going to that level with someone else who's also an equal. So this is great. This is a signal that it's happening on the inside, and when it happens on the inside, then when it's reflected on the outside, that outside reflection is stable. It's true. Okay, what do we need to know about our manifestations for the next couple of weeks? Oh my God. Soulmate relationship. So this is like the internal work that really prepares us for that soulmate relationship. New romance with a spiritual basis is here for you now. Again, all of these influences with Pisces and Venus and Saturn are not just, you know, influencing the signs and the, you know, the things that they're moving through, but other things around it. So it's like love, commitment, love that is a love that also has like spiritual meaning and depth to it as well. Alchemy, next card, you have the Midas touch right now, and every project you begin turns to gold. New beginnings, new mindset, new energy, new aura, who dis? Like everything is like has this new birth energy right now. So much potential, so much possibility. That's why it's extra important to let go of sorrows from the past, prejudices, hard feelings, let it all go and move forward fresh, because those things are only gonna hold you back, right? Playtime. The dolphins know the importance of playing, as joy creates miracles and manifestation. So get out and do the things that you love doing, that you consider play. The lightness of energy is gonna make you buoyant in that flow of cosmology and the way that it carries you through to your opportunity and to your, you know, lucky fortunes. So like this earlier, it's like no big deal, just surrender. It's time to party. Just take the risk. You know, boredom is making you stagnant anyway, so do something to shake it up. Playtime. It's not all so serious. Okay, what's our last card for our manifestations for the coming 2 weeks during the cycle of releasing and waning? Yes, yes, queen. Your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. I love it. Follow your intuition. Take the risk. Don't keep second guessing yourself. One of our oracle forecast cards for the week was listen with the ear. It's about tuning in to that internal guidance that's giving you those little hits of like compelling things that you feel like you need to go do, or go to this place, or like, you know, things that come to you. Listen to that intuitive guidance. You're being led, right? You're being guided, and just trust that. And the only way to really fine-tune your ability to understand and interpret your intuition is just to take the risk of failure. You know, be willing to be wrong, and then you pay attention to, okay, well, how did that sound? How did I feel? Was that fearful? Looking back on it now, does that seem like my intuition would have told me that, or is that my ego? You know, is that me deluding myself and lying to myself, right? Or is that my pride talking? Okay, so for our love lives for the next couple of weeks, what do we got? Ooh, heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. So no games, not bad ones anyway. Don't withhold. You don't have to be like, lay it all out, but like, don't be intentionally elusive or evasive. Just be open about your interest, or show it, or, you know, be willing to like put it out there and not hide it, right? Start to give that attention and that, like, give your love without expectation, without feeling like it's an exchange, like someone else has to reciprocate. Just give. Be an open give, like a sharer with no motive or agenda to receive back, because then that's that not perfected vessel. That's receiving for the sake of the self alone. When it's called a destroyer consciousness or a taker consciousness. You know, have you ever had those people that like are being nice to you, but only because they want to get your affirmation or their validation, right? It's like taker consciousness, even though it seems sharing. So yeah, don't hold back, don't withhold. Just be authentic, right? Just be fun, be authentic. No big deal, right? It's no big deal, just having fun, right? I love this. You're gonna laugh. Let go of control issues. Just have a good time, you know, be light of heart. Be open, put it out there, allow the situation to unfold naturally. And that's what the whole conversation here has been about, not just for our romance, but for everything. Don't force. You know, be that balance of assertion, but also like the ability to then have a rhythm of sharing and then receiving, you know, action and then passive, like silence and stillness. You know, even in business, it's like you make a pitch or you put in an offer and then you wait, right, in silence, and then you let them counter offer, right? It's, you know, there's a rhythm. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectation. So what's been coming to me recently in a lot of the messages is that it's not that we're not going to be attracted to this person, but they may not be the typical person who's like the echo chamber of what we're used to. It's like there may be things about them that really light us up in ways, but then there may be other things about them that we weren't quite expecting. But it might be those unexpected flavors that end up adding the most dimension in the pairing in the end. So keep an open mind, you know, reconsider what's a deal breaker and what's a preference for you. And then, but to me, I mean, the attraction has to be there. The chemistry has to be there. But I'm not going to entertain someone where just because of the chemistry either, that like it needs to be really aligned. Calling in your soulmate. All of this work we're doing, it's really sharpening our signal to call in our soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So get really clear on this and, you know, be willing to be dreamy about it in a positive way where you're ruminating in appreciation and like basking in fun and romance instead of being neurotic and wanting like solid answers or, you know, anything in material sense very quickly. Just enjoy the unfolding. Take it back to the times of like that Jane Austen, you know, and things were a slower unfoldment, but there was so much more romance back then. Can't really have a lot of, you know, people think that romance is dead now, and it's only because everybody's in such a rush to move everything forward so quickly, and or, you know, to skip through, you know, like taking your time with certain things, and then that stage is over and you've already bypassed the other stages that could have been drawn out and been very enjoyable. So take your time. The word from Mary, Jesus' mom, is truth, girl, truth. I am lovingly honest with myself and others. So again, we are reconsidering what is our ego truth, what is our earthly truth that we're being so attached to that we're actually forsaking love for it. And that might be love toward our fellow man. That might be love toward our, you know, the people in our life, in our inner circle, in our outer circle. It might be the people who are willing to entertain, who we could love, right? Because it's saying keep an open mind. So, you know, don't be so loyal to your truth that it costs you love. Because that thing that Jesus said, these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love, right? And nowhere in that sentence was he like, stick to your truth at all costs. End up hating everybody because of it. Like, no. So come to the willingness to let go or be flexible in the fact that like you can have your truth and you can also love and accept others within that. And be willing to set aside your own personal truth for the divine, cosmic Christ truth. And let's have one final word from Jesus. This is Loving Words from Jesus, Oracle, from Doreen Virtue. What do you got to say to us, Jesus? What is our verse that we need to remember for the next couple of weeks that'll help us solidify and embody all of this? Blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it, right? And so it's like, blessed are they that hear the word of God from within and keep that and hold on to it. When the outer world tells you differently, close your eyes. Go within to your own personal relationship with the Creator and connect with that truth, right? Not other people's projections, not your ego's projections, but the deepest truth from the Christ center in your heart, right? And when you have to activate that though. It's what like people are like, ask Jesus into your heart. It's really more like when you pray that prayer, you're saying, I want to devote myself to changing my own current consciousness and transcending and ascending like my lower shadow parts of my soul that keep me chained by fear, by lack, by doubts, by insecurities and prejudices and anger and despair and, you know, bitterness. And I want to let that go, and I want to start ascending in consciousness and let go of all that heaviness and open my heart to compassion and a higher level of love and unconditionalness and understanding and goodness. And so that prayer to ask Jesus into your heart, it's like the Christ already dwells within your heart. That's where your chakra is right there, the heart chakra. It's the Christ center. In the tree of life, that's the Christ center. It's the center of the Messiah, the Redeemer. And so it's already there. You just have to activate it. Just like you activate the divine spark in all things within your certainty and recognition of the divine in all things. So you activate that Christ in your heart because you have free will. So you can't, it's not going to force on you. You have to ask. And so you activate it, and then all of a sudden life starts to present you with the opportunity to see the challenges that come your way as assignments, where you carry that cross with you through the stations, where you allow life to teach you and to open you up and to break you open through the challenges and even in the goodness, right? In a positive way, so that you can die to that darkness and resurrect what's eternal, what's true, what's pure love and light and compassion and hope and faith within you and certainty. And then you're resurrected and you have everlasting life, because then you can see through the illusion of reality, and you know that it is a passing, fleeting vapor, and it is very mutable to your own intention and the way that you show up to it and the way you perceive it and your expectations and your faith. So it's always changeable. Everything can turn around at any given moment, and all it takes is a mustard seed of certainty that God is in all things. And that even when you're being plagued by your demons and devils are all around you, tormenting you, when you believe that God is in all things, then it activates that power, and all of a sudden those devils become pawns and their schemes are foiled, and you're exalted through them, through your certainty, and the situation turns around, and all of a sudden you're showered in favor and blessing. But the magic sauce is the certainty. You got to be certain. All right, you guys. Well, that is all for now. I will see y'all later for Totally Tuesday. I'm going to try anyway. I might be exhausted. And I'm going to now edit this video and try to get it uploaded for you guys. I'll see you soon. Like this and subscribe. Bye. Okay, I had to pop back on because I realized after I broke the set down and everything that I'd forgotten to pull our Moonology card and our Angel Wisdom cards, which we always pull in the reading. And I started to just skip it, and then I was like, no, I have to. And I'm glad that I did, because our Moonology card was full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. So I thought this was hilarious, and it feels like it's hours ago to me, but like it's moments ago in our reading. But like this goes right along with what we were just talking about, and like the whole soulmate, the soulmate card that came up in what was it? The Mermaids and Dolphins, like with the Oracle manifestation theme, and then also with calling in your soulmate and keep an open mind. Also, like making too big of a deal about things, and like we went over this earlier in the reading, so I'm not just going to circle back to all of them, but like you see the connection here. Like there's something about someone might be outside of your expectation, or maybe an opportunity or something like that, and maybe there's something that is triggering your pride to make you want to just like dig your heels in or something, but apparently like don't do it. The ego is trying to sabotage you again. And this is like one of the things, the self-defeating tendencies that's going to come up, that the full moon is going to expose to you, so that you can see this and decide like, okay, I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm not going to repeat the same pattern because my pride causes me to withhold, right? Or, you know, to shut down, or to put up a facade like I'm too cool for school or don't care or whatever. So don't let your pride stand in the way. There's so much bliss that could be coming in, so it would be really a big waste to just let your pride stand in the way of your potential. Because angel wisdom cards followed, 8 of Wands, things could move forward in your life very quickly. And things can really take off, you know. Love and money are connected. They're both ruled by Venus. And so when you're feeling great and secure and overflowing and abundant in love, it kind of like spills over into your work life, right? Have you ever noticed that suddenly you start getting opportunities? Or when you start getting a lot of opportunities in work and you're thriving there, it's like all of a sudden people start noticing you and they find you very attractive. So Venus is very much highlighted this month with all of these like astrological movements that it's making. So, and then after like all of this stuff has come up for the big purge and we've offloaded, there's just so much lightness and so much room for growth, and so much like the tension has been pulled back on that slingshot, and we're so ready to move forward. It's like life is just going to take off come spring. So catch your breath while you can. And also, as soon as you put your pride aside, like things can start moving forward, you know, in a very positive direction is another way to look at that. We then have Emperor and 2 of Cups. So we've been getting so many king cards recently, and then the feminine king with the king cards. So it just makes me think that there is going to be a pairing of equals, whether it be in creative collaborations and friendships, in romance, what have you. But this is a great chance to move forward as the Emperor and like use this Virgo energy to get really clear and set your intention about what you want. Take a leadership role for yourself in your own life and get organized and start implementing. But it also might mean that you are calling in an Emperor who, you know, is like the equal to the Empress, right? So we may have an Emperor coming in, and we may be getting an offer, or we may be, you know, meeting a like mind and having a mutual attraction, you know, mutual admiration, right? And if you're working in like a collaborative sense, it might be that like 2 people like really admire the other one, you know, their work and their ideas. But for some reason, I just feel like, because like, I mean, the soulmate can be friends, it can be anybody, but I do feel that there's something about love pairings coming in that has been like kind of an ongoing theme in the 2023 predictions month by month. So it's feeling like something's possible. So 2 of Cups, falling in love or the resurgence of a romantic relationship, forgiveness and the end of challenges, exchanging gifts, don't give up on people that you love, which that really stands out too. It's like, don't give up on people that you love, you know, don't think your feelings fill your feelings, don't let your pride get in the way, you're making too big of a deal of this, like your soulmate might be different from your usual expectation. So something about this, it just feels like whatever it is. Oh yeah, the worth the risk card. It's like, it just feels like we should just maybe take the risk and give it a chance and see how something goes. But don't give up on people that you love. Even, you know, the people in your family or in your inner circle that you don't want to like completely burn the bridge with, but you might butt heads with. It's like, that's what we've been dealing with lately in the zeitgeist. We've been learning how to put our ego aside and just love people, even though they're intolerable. But yeah, even though you might butt heads, right? It's like in these modern times, it's so easy to just isolate yourself in an echo chamber. And it didn't used to be that way. We used to all just have to like put up with each other and deal with it. And we don't do that anymore because it's so convenient not to. And so I think that there might be like this shift where I think this might be a common thing now, is that people might be finding themselves befriending those that are in opposite camps, right? Or even maybe like entertaining, you know, relationships with people that are in kind of opposite camps because, you know, love wins. It's the only way we're going to unite in the end anyway, I guess, right? If we start bumping fronts with the enemy. All right, you guys. That was our full moon workshop. It is day late and a dollar short. Sorry. Oh my God. You guys, like my channel and like these videos so that I can one day maybe monetize, and then I can work less shifts and make more content, and everything will be uploaded in a timely fashion. Help us out. Yeah, take care. Good luck over the next 2 weeks over the waning cycle. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm not going to do the Totally Tuesday tonight because I still have to edit this video and upload it. So I'll see you, oh God, for tomorrow's reading. And I've got to clean up the house in the morning and get organized for a client to come by. So I will holler at y'all tomorrow. Bye.